Okay, we're live.
All right. So this is what Megan and my life looks like. Life on the road, fitting saddles. And we are coming to you live from in the field. And we're going to talk about stirrups today. And we only have a couple options in the car compared to the huge selection that we have back at the shop. But we thought we'd run through some features and try to mention some other ones that we include in our inventory as well. There have been a lot of changes in stirrups in the past 5, 10, 15 years, and some really great features that can help you with your alignment in the saddle, as well as your comfort for your body and your joints, and for safety also. So
We're gonna start with these great little composti stirrups. We love these because they come in so many different colors. So it adds a little fun pop. They're a great price point at $46.95. They're a super lightweight option, but they also have this wide track. Annie mentioned things that help with your comfort in the saddle, and having a wider footbed is great because it's a little more shock absorbing. These actually have a little bit of a shock absorbing pad to them. And it also provides more stability to be on a wider track. It just gives you a little bit more surface area. It distributes your weight over the stirrup more.
they're lightweight. I actually went to these stirrups because I got bucked off a young horse when I lost my stirrup and it hit his side, and that was the metal stirrup. So he really liked this lighter weight composite material. And as Megan says, you can feel it when you get into the stirrup. You can feel a little bit of forgiveness to the bed on these, which you don't notice when you're riding, but it is a little forgiving, and that alleviates some of the stress on your joints. I also have dislocated my foot, and I find the wide base, having a little bit more stability for me, has been huge help. This is one of my leathers on my saddle. I have them on my dressage and my jump saddles. I love them that much, and it's an amazing price.
Similar to that same wide track, this is the Keep stirrup. These have been super popular. A lot of people really love them. They have the nice grip to it, and it does have a beveled edge. It has a slight cant, so there are left and right foot. So that slight cant helps to relieve pressure, so your leg can lay more naturally in the saddle. And then they do have a nice weight to them. They're a little more weighted on the bottom, so they hang. So a lot of people feel like these more weighted stirrups, if they were to lose their stirrup's more likely to be by their feet than it is to be up in the air in an emergency situation.
You lose it in your show jumping course, you're really happy it's easy to find because it's hanging right there for you.
Exactly. And similar to this one, we also have pretty much the full line of the tech irons. I actually ride in the tech irons. I have the dressage version, which is a little extra weighted on the footbed. They're slightly narrower and a little bit taller. They're just a slightly different build, but there's more price points within the tech irons. They also make a safety version, which has a magnetic clip and allows the foot to come out of the stirrup. We highly recommend those. Had really a lot of success with those, and they also come in a bunch of different colors, so it's really fun to customize. We're always happy to order those for you.
So this is where we all began. The traditional Phyllis iron, you want to make sure that if this is what you ride in, that you have a rubber pad, because that little gription is really helpful, and they are replaceable. So if yours is worn smooth, you can get a replacement for that. We carry those at the shop. You also want to make sure that it's weighted. That's a shift that's happened with the traditional iron, is that they have gone to the more weighted part down here, and that's a safety feature that, like we mentioned, means that if you lose your stirrup, it's more likely to hang there, and it's easier for your foot to kick free in the event that you should fall off and need to free yourself from your saddle. Doesn't matter right or left on these, so that's really nice. A lot of the other high-tech irons that we carry have a right and left to them, which is clearly marked on the bottom of the iron. So, but that doesn't matter. They also come in a peacock safety version, which we highly recommend for kids. They have the band on the side that means that if you fall off your pony, you have a quick release to get out of your iron. I don't recommend them for kids once they get into the teenage years or for adults, because you weight on that and actually your iron will bend, and it makes it harder to keep your iron if you're riding on an iron that's got a slight bend to it. It's a little different than a canted iron. It's actually tipping you out of the iron. So there is also a safety stirrup that we carry in the shop that's just under $50, I think, that has a big bend in the side of it, which is an easy release safety iron too. So if you're too old for the safety stirrup and you're not going to go into a $300 to $400 iron, this is an inexpensive option that we carry that is very safe, looks great, and you don't have to break the bank on that one.
So this is the Springer Bow Balance. These have been around for a really long time, and they have a very extreme following of people who just absolutely love them. I know they've solved a lot of joint issues for people, just comfort in general in the saddle. The angle of the stirrup provides release on the knee, and then it does have this flexible component to it. So the stirrup is going to flex, and it prevents the knee from having to flex. If you want something super stable, this is probably not going to offer you the stability of like a traditional dressage iron that like feels like you're truly standing on something, but this is great, helps you to get your heels down while absorbing some of that impact for you. So a lot of people really like these, and we do usually have at least one pair in the shop that would be available for trial if you're just not sure, you're not quite ready to make that investment yet.
It's a heavy iron. You can feel a big difference between the weight of the Springer Balance, which really led the way with this kind of design, versus what's happened with the Tech and the Keep irons. This one has the bend in it, so that's more of a safety feature to it. We do carry the traditional 4-way also that doesn't have the bend in it. Again, like Megan said, I have a hard time riding in these, even though they have the great wide track to them. There's too much movement for my ankle. My ankle is too wiggly to begin with, so I prefer something that has a little bit more stability and still has the wide track. But this is where we all started, and we also carry a lot of variations on this that are under $100 but have a 2-way hinge to them, which still does give you relief to your knees and your ankles without it being quite so much wiggle, professional term on that. So I think that is covered. There's a lot of irons out on the market. We can't possibly carry them all, but we've made our choices about one from each kind of range and price point, and feel like we pretty much got the irons covered. So, and we do demo irons, so if you're curious what a wide track feels like, and if that could help you, even in trail riding, jumping, or dressage, just give us a call and you can trial a pair.
Yeah.